Super Bowlers are the most underrated troop in Clash of Clans. They're incredibly strong, and this one army works incredibly well from Town Hall 12 and above. So let's start with this first base right here. Of course, the first thing that you're always going to start with when you're using this army is a Warden Walk. The Warden Walk is there to create the funnel for you. This is really easy to mess up if you do not control your Warden by bringing in other troops to funnel him, but it is fairly easy to get him to go into the right direction. Just make sure that they're close enough to his aura. Other than that, you just want to create one side of the funnel with the Warden Walk. This can be sped up through the use of Sneaky Goblins if there's a bunch of resource buildings, but it really is up to you. You do want to try and create the other side of the funnel. This can be done with the Barbarian King, as you can see from here, the Siege Barrack included, and maybe a couple super wall breakers if you want to break open and remove buildings from inside the base to easier control your attack. Well, this is where you can then go ahead and send in your Super Bowlers and your Yetis. In this case, he's got the Queen to aggro the Grand Warden. You can do that with the Super Bowlers, but the Queen is an easy choice. Other than that, you want to continue to push in. Controlling your jump spells so they move all the way across the base is what you need. You do not want them to all fizzle out. So in this case, he's got the Grand Warden ability to protect them through the Town Hall and at least push through. Some of them may return and go ahead to remove other buildings, and some of them will unfortunately die, but you will still have a large amount of them, especially if the healers stay onto them. It can work incredibly well. Despite them all dying in this case, they can actually stay alive for a lot longer as long as they have at least 2 healers on them. Considering this is a smash attack, and you may bring other units like wizards into the mix to help get some, at least a little bit more cleanup, it can work incredibly well for you. But it just goes to show how strong this type of army is with the Super Bowlers and the Yetis, making for an extremely strong combination. Now, on a base like this, where the Town Hall is literally all the way on the other side of the base, it's very easy to get a 2-star or even get a 1-star. Basically, the biggest thing that you want to do is control your jump spells, because if everything goes off away from the Town Hall or away from where you want to go, it could actually cause you to fail. So you want to make sure that the jump spells are being used where you can easily control all of your troops. The attacker starts with a Grand Warden Walk, speeding it up with a wizard or any Sneaky Goblins if you want to bring that, but it's just to create one side of the funnel. The other side of the funnel can be done with the Barbarian King. So as you can see from here, the Grand Warden and King are being able to create a solid funnel, which will allow you to control your troops to go in. That is the main goal. Having a funnel set with the King and the Siege Barrack allows you to send all your troops in. In this case, he aggroes everything because it was fairly easy to aggro the Grand Warden in this case, and just using the jump spells to connect the core from that outer compartment, which allows you to easily continue to work yourself in. Once you get into here, you can reach the Town Hall. That's what the attacker is noticing. So using the rage spells to push the Super Bowlers and the Yetis through is incredibly important. Now, unfortunately, in this case, he lost all of his Yetis early. All he has remaining is Super Bowlers. But this is where you can use the heal spell to provide support for not just them, but your Hog Riders from your clan castle, which really does a lot of work. And against the Town Hall, the Super Bowlers can do quite a bit of work. They have a lot of HP, so they can survive through it. So you don't really need to worry all too much about them getting taken down by it too quick. So in this case, the opposite happened where all 4 of the Super Bowlers stayed alive. That's why I said, having the healers on the Super Bowlers is really good, especially since a lot of people are trying to defend Super Dragons, where it's now vulnerable to both E-Drags and also Super Bowlers, which makes them incredibly good right now. Another base type is this one, not exactly the same as the previous example, but still fairly similar with the Town Hall being all the way on the other side. The easiest way to put this is if you can easily snipe a building like the Eagle Artillery without aggroing the heroes, that can really do a lot of work for you. The main goal though is you really want to make sure that you're dropping your healers as early as you can. You don't want this to happen. You don't want your Grand Warden on red. You never do. So you want to make sure that you are able to keep him alive. But of course, the main reason here was because of the air defense in its ability to hit the healers. So that is why he placed the healers in so late. But other than that, all you really want to do is create a funnel. Whether that be from just the outside or on the inside of the base is really up to you. You just got to make sure that you do not lose that Grand Warden from the Warden Walk, or else you are going to be screwed for the rest of your army. Because if the Warden Walk is your main start and you want him to go into the base with your army, that could cause some problems. So on the other side, of course, you would drop in your Barbarian King, controlling exactly where he goes. And even though at Town Hall 12 you don't have something for the back end, you've got the Hog Riders from the CC. A lot of people seem to forget that Hog Riders in the CC are kind of powerful, especially with a heal spell. That is exactly why the attacker is doing so. So basically using the Super Bowlers and the Yetis to push into the base gives them a lot of momentum to drive through. Since the Warden Walk was able to clear most of the other compartment, it means that they don't really aggro onto that compartment, and they can easily continue to work themselves down, making it extremely easy for you to move yourself all the way into the Town Hall compartment if there is one there. But it makes it extremely easy if you use the jump spells to open up multiple compartments, not just one. So in this case, the Super Bowlers could go into this compartment as well, but in this case, all the Super Bowlers, for the most part, are still roughly alive. At least 2 are still remaining, and the healers really provide so much support. Hog Riders from the CC also provide a ton of support because they come in towards the latter end of the attack, making this really, really easy, and also it's very reminiscent of having a Royal Champion, except segmented into like 8 Hog Riders. So that is extremely why these are what I would consider to be really, really strong. And of course, this attack strategy is incredibly strong and something I would consider using, as Super Bowlers are really strong. But also, what about Town Hall 13? Now, if you add a Royal Champion to this army, it's already going to be incredibly strong. This is why I still think Super Bowlers are one of the better ground troops in the game currently. They're the single best ground troop right now just because of how consistent they can be. Overall, you just really want to make sure that you're able to control everything and have everything go in the right direction towards that Town Hall, especially since you're going in away from it usually. But in this case, of course, you can always snipe buildings with the Grand Warden, as you can see from here, being able to snipe off the Eagle artillery without having to really worry too much. That creates a really solid funnel for you as you enter into the base. Just want to make sure that you're doing that, because then what you're able to do is create the other side of the funnel, aggro the Warden with the Queen or, your other troops, and then send everything into the base. You've got a very easy lane, a very easy couple buildings to get you aggroed into there. Overall, this army is a lot stronger at Town Hall 13, not just because of the new levels, and I personally prefer level 3 Yetis, but it gets incredibly strong as you move yourself in. Having the Royal Champion on the back end with Hog Riders is really good. But basically being able to use your Grand Warden ability early to protect everything as they enter in is good, and underneath a Rage spell. They do so much work under a Rage, it's not even funny. And you've got the Hog Riders to work in with the Royal Champion, and you have a heal spell for that. I mean, this is absolute overkill with an army like this. This is why I would consider this to be a really strong ground army, and it works incredibly well on a lot of different base types. You just really got to make sure that you're creating the funnel and being able to control the pathing of the jump spells and controlling the Yetis and Super Bowlers as they work in, and that will allow you to get a lot more 3 stars with this army. And of course, it will definitely be one of your favorite armies to use if you start to use it a little bit more. It isn't too hard, but it's not too easy, but it is a really strong army. What do you think about Super Bowlers? Are they still bad according to you, or are they actually underrated and you probably should use them? But of course, make sure you guys check out my previous video all on Super Dragons, and if they are the best troop in Clash of Clans, you guys can check it out right here. I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.